And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Shitfic Showcase. After his seeming defeat by Solomon, Red had reconstructed his body into his gigantic final form.
This isn't even my final form! You haven't seen the last of Grandma!
Transporting us to a blazing inferno in the process. It was reminiscent of our first encounter, except now the scenery, much like the true power of Red, had become very real. The music had erupted into a loud, blaring sound, a furious drum of death. Clock. Faced against Red's insane amount of health, my own demise was imminent.
Come closer! Tiny dancer.
Solomon was my strongest monster, but not even he stood a chance. It was like trying to fight a mountain.
Here's a sadness beam. You like cheese fondue?
Within seconds, Solomon was overpowered and dropped to the floor, when Red crushed him to death underneath his foot. The sadistic demon took his time as he snapped Solomon's vertebrae and ribs like dry, brittle twigs. I could tell he was enjoying our pain.
No, that's the face of enjoyment right there.
Oh yeah, it's not the face of, please God, kill me as soon as possible.
When I'm feeling truly happy, that's the face I make. And my neck even extends out.
Exactly that
like the
far.
fucking barrel of a pistol.
Yes.
You are weak! Your monsters are weak! You will all die! And I will be the WrestleMania champion!
What?
What?
This is hopeless. I'm a dead man. I had no choice but to send another monster to his death. We were all going to die. I only hoped that they would forgive me. I'm not gonna forgive him.
I don't blame
Oh,
you!
that.
After decreasing Red's health by a minuscule amount, Angry Ass was also
Don't forget.
obliterated. Red unleashed a hail of blazing hot needles into his face until he collapsed.
I knit with these! Do you like knitting? It's a fun hobby. You should try it. Here's my needles. You want to fucking try them? Yeah. I'm sorry. Why do I always hoit the ones I love?
Another moment of unspeakable agony, then nothingness as my ally fade away. You can't win.
Zachary!
I asked Red how he knew my name, and then he said it.
I've known you for a long time. I'll tell you a secret. I killed Melissa.
God damn it.
My girlfriend was killed by a video game character. No! God damn it, Bowser! You and your fucking army of Goombas!
You gave my girlfriend a mental illness. Was Red the one driving the fucking truck that ran her over? Is that...
I hope that's the screenshot.
It's just Red with a fucking trucker hat
Yeah.
driving a fucking 18-wheeler.
I'm gonna get this bitch. You're not good enough for my little Zachary.
For years, she was being tortured by something nobody understood. Now I knew what it was. Now I understood why I was mocked about Melissa's death and how the game knew about it. Because he knew about it. Because he was the one responsible. And this time, he was going to kill me. Oh my God!
Send your last monster. I will end this feudal struggle. Terrible creepypasta.
I was taken back to the board to send Godzilla to his final stand. Barely anything was left of the board. Just Godzilla and Red's icons. And... this fucker right here.
Oh yeah, that one.
The fifth monster. In the midst of everything that was happening, I had completely forgotten about it. I tried yet again to select it. I cursed, I begged, I screamed at it to do something. Anything to help me. To no avail. There was only one thing to do.
You little bastard. I'm gonna get you something good. Here's a bunch of rakes. Super rake attack.
What the fuck? Just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Yeah, see, it's more epic this way.
You really need to comb your hair.
Look at his face! Look at his face!
No.
He looks so dumb! He looks so fucking stupid! Oh.
Godzilla's tail almost looks like his nose. Like he has an extended fucking snout on him. It's the fucking like Looney Tunes with the fucking wolf where his jaw just falls on the floor and his eyes jump out of his head when he sees the pretty lady.
That must have been what happened to Red's eyes, and then why they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Now what, bitch? What did you say about my eyes?
I knew Godzilla didn't stand any more of a chance than the rest did. But maybe now that all the other monsters were gone, the fifth monster might finally awaken. I managed to get the creature's icon selected. Excuse me, the Crayers. I managed to get the Crayers icon selected. And I pressed the A button as fast as I could. The icon started to shake, as if it were trying desperately to move. It was then that Red decided he was done playing fair. And before I could activate the monster, he went for the killing blow, paralyzing my heart.
What?
Apparently he was just able to do that this entire time.
Yeah.
Which begs the question why he didn't just start off with that, but you know, fuck it. This clearly...
Let's play video games first.
Yeah, it should have been obvious to us a long time ago that this fucking story isn't following any kind of internal logic. It's just trope after trope after trope.
Hey, I know it would be a cool idea for the next part of my stupid creepypasta. No, I don't.
My hands started to become numb and unfeeling, but even as my vision was fading away...
No. I can play Godzilla NES.
I still tried to press the A button. Tried to press...
Game over.
Oh no, it said a thing that video games normally say.
Red surely was breaking one of his rules, but he must have thought that if he could kill me quickly, then it would be too late for any consequences to matter. What consequences? Is the video game, like, board gonna come down on him? The fucking, like, video game Supreme Court is gonna rule against him if this drags on too long?
How quick, I better kill him and hide the body before the fucking Emperor of video games comes down and gives me a spanking. We can't have Mario in here saving people. I don't want to get beat up by no plumber.
Then it would be too late for any consequences to matter. He would have won. He was wrong. Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's a bunch of blue shit. And then there's more blue shit, and then there's red shit. All this blue and red shit.
Look at it go! Woo-woo! Oh my god, look at this! Colors!
Red's power was being challenged by another force. It prevented him from killing me, and when I regained my vision, I saw a familiar sight. Armless.
Yeah, fucking...
Good old...
Four armless.
Zach, we don't have much time. Who are you?
I can already tell where this is going, and it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, here we go. You ready for this bullshit?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Who are you? You already know me. I am Melissa.
That's a hot girlfriend.
You remember all the no arms I had?
All of them? Do I ever?
Remember that I was like a fucking... Looked like something out of a science textbook, only with like a blue palette swap over it.
Yeah.
Look, these are all the muscles in the human body. A human body that doesn't have any fucking forearms.
That's a very... Have that diagram next to, like, the regular one with forearms. This is a very important distinction to make.
I wish she had little hands at the end of those arms.
I got little arms too. I'm just like Red.
Yeah.
What? How is that possible? Red told me that he killed you. But how are you in the video game? Why are you in the video game? It's true. Even after death, he tortures me. He makes me play Godzilla NES over and fucking over again. If you can't stop him, he'll do the same to you. But how will I be able to stop him now? I can't fight Red, but there is one who can. I will release him from Red's grasp. Don't give up. I love you.
The video game monster.
Her words stirred something inside of me. I wasn't going to die like this. And I had more to fight her for than just... What?
Fuck my girlfriend.
I'm gonna beat your fucking ass for getting me into this shit, Melissa.
Yeah.
You better prepare your fucking ass for my foot. I'm gonna fuck you up.
God damn it, Melissa.
This is all your fucking fault. I thought you were dead, and then you were in the video game, and you didn't call me all this time.
You tricked me.
You bitch. I bet you've been fucking Solomon this whole time, haven't you? What that fucking Solomon got that I ain't got. And I had more to fight her for than just my own life. I had to fight to save Melissa by beating up Melissa and the world she inhabits. With her help, the fifth monster was finally unleashed.
The fifth monster was finally unleashed.
A cock ass.
A cock ass.
The golden light.
Of cock ass. The powers of cock and ass combined. I am a cock ass.
Cock ass by your powers combined. It was time to end this once and for all. Together we would take this damned hellspawn out of existence. Fuck off. I don't care, support assist.
Oh, that looks intimidating.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is the fucking, like, gold guy from fucking Star Wars. With
Like
spikes
C-3PO.
growing out, yeah.
They're like, well, yeah, he's got spikes on his back. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, look at
You
it. He's
better
like
fuck off,
he's,
Red.
He's
You
like
don't
a
wanna-
fucking fish monster.
Don't make me fight you. Don't make me poke you with my back.
They can't save you.
A cockass was by far the strongest playable monster in the game. He had to be, if he were to have any chance of surviving. His quote-unquote punch involved turning his hands into blades, which caused tremendous damage. But Red had more than enough life to spare. In the end, this would come down to pure skill.
Too much spaghetti. Ow. Ow.
I poked you in the eye.
Like the fucking Three Stooges.
Doink.
Oh, man.
That's just instead of a cock ass, it should be fucking just curly.
Curly Howard, yeah.
I'm telling Mom. Ow, what are you doing to my rakes? I spent $10 for those.
Is that eye piss?
I think it is. It's my favorite Apple product.
Whenever they get into making urinals. It's a urinal that can store all your music.
Here, it plays Survivor, Eye of the Tiger while you piss in it.
$5,000.
Is your piss cloudy? We can put it in the iCloud.
Ow, my balls.
That looks even worse now.
Yeah.
It looks even shittier.
I remember that one. I'm doing that one again.
Yeah.
But now it has teeth.
With one final strike, Red was destroyed. His body disintegrated and sank below, accompanied by a soar of triumphant music that apparently his girlfriend composed.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to get into how fucking stupid it is that his dead girlfriend and the monster that killed her just happens to be in this Godzilla NES cartridge that his friend coincidentally had.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to get into how fucking dumb that is.
Like, okay, if you want to have a story about your girlfriend died, if you have to confront the guy who killed her or whatever, okay, you're doing it through a Godzilla NES game.
Slowly, the paralysis wore off, and I was able to stand up again. I can finally stand up for myself.
I'm a holographic.
Oh. Owie.
Right in the schnickle.
Now she actually looks like the fucking... I remember chocolate.
Yeah.
Now she's the same color and everything.
Yeah. You know, she turned into chocolate.
Yeah. We had done it. Melissa's death had been avenged, and I felt overwhelming happiness. Until I remembered all the death and pain that led up to this point. All the other monsters who had fought and died. All the firefighters who went into the World Trade Center. I was about to mourn them, but the game had yet to conclude. Great, Melissa's bringing him up to heaven.
Oh man, that's fucking glorious looking. Look at the majesty.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's the monsters, they're back.
Oh, it's like the end of fucking Star Wars when you see the ghosts of... Hey, it's Face.
Hey, it's Face. How you doing, Face?
But yeah, when you see the fucking ghosts of, like, Obi-Wan and Yoda and all them.
Yeah.
And they're just chilling out, like, hey, we're back. We're not totally dead. We're, like, ghosts and shit, but we're here and we like you.
All right, we're all here. Let's get together and have a party. Let's this some snacks and some juice boxes. I hate this fucking story.
Oh, who brought the keg?
Tears of joy streamed down my face, and then I broke out crying. First I started crying, and then I broke out crying. I cried harder than I have in several years, maybe in whole life. Maybe in whole life. I cry harder than I have in several years, maybe in whole life. All I had been through, all I had discovered, and now the game was coming to an end. But before she and the others left, Melissa had something to tell me. I'm still not gonna fuck you. Mostly because I can't, but also because you're ugly. You have saved us. We are forever grateful.
Oh, man.
You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
You have a little army of fucking alien toys just chasing after him.
That's the true curse in this game. We'll be together again someday in a shitty video game that now no longer has any bosses or anything. Someday. And then the title screen. That was a good video game. Okay, epilogue?
Sure. I am Zachary. And at the time I write this, it has been 3 weeks since the fateful night when I played the NES Godzilla game.
It has been 3 weeks since I played NES Godzilla. Hi, Zachary.
Going back to that night, to immediately after I turned off the NES.
That's a great sentence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Going back to that night to immediately after I turned off the NES.
Once I was able to start walking around again, the first thing I did was unplug the NES, take out the cartridge, and put them in separate sock drawers. I looked over at the computer. All the screenshots you've seen of the story were saved. I backed up all the images on a flash drive before I turned the computer off, just in case. After that, I hit the bed and instantly passed out. It was not a restful sleep, but one of complete exhaustion. It felt like no time has passed before I awoke again. And what a day that was. The first thought I recall coming to mind was, what the hell happened last night?
He wakes up the next morning with like a fucking armless girl in his bed with him. With no skin.
I thought about it for a short while, until it occurred to me to contact the person I got the game from to begin with. Billy.
Why didn't you do that to start with? Like,
yeah, like as soon as some random shit comes up. Hey, Billy, the fuck?
Yeah.
So I called him up and told him to just come over to my apartment so I could kick his ass.
Which he did.
Which he did.
He got his ass kicked.
And I showed him the screenshots and gave him a very basic summary of what had happened. First he thought I was pulling a joke on him, but he soon realized that was not the case. Once it hit him that this was real.
Which it shouldn't have, because he's got no proof beyond the screenshots that he could have made up for all Billy.
Hey, is that Photoshop still running on your computer?
Yeah.
Is that MS Paint? Once it hit him that this was real, he was speechless.
Oh my god, my friend is a fucking moron.
He made it clear that he had absolutely not tampered with the game, and had no idea about any of this. So then the obvious question was asked to Billy.
By me, in passive voice.
From where did you get this game from that you got it? I got the simple answer of another friend of mine that I trade games with. He assured me that this was a trustworthy person, and he had never had any issues with games he got from him before. So then Billy called him. But when he told this guy the story, he was as shocked and as surprised as anyone, except he abruptly hung up on us.
I don't have time for this bullshit.
Yeah,
your girlfriend, your dead girlfriend was not in a fucking video game. I don't care what you tell me. Goodbye. Click.
This clearly was going nowhere.
That's what you should have realized from the beginning of the fucking story.
Yeah. Before Billy left that day, he asked me if I wanted him to take the cartridge and dispose of it. I sharply declined. He asked how I could possibly still want to keep the thing.
You don't understand. My girlfriend is in this cartridge.
I love her.
Oh, Godzilla NES, I want to marry you.
So you have to fucking blow out the jizz from the cartridge. Whoever wants to play it in the future. See, he asked how I could possibly still want to keep the thing. I told him that I needed time to think it over, and that was that. Billy and I haven't talked much since. Even though I've told him this isn't the case, I get the impression that Billy thinks what happened with the game is his fault. After he left that day, I did a lot of thinking. It's very hard for me to do anything else, really. I couldn't stop thinking about the game. There were so many questions left unanswered. What was Red? Was Melissa really in the game? How did she get there? Why did all this happen with this game?
Probably should have thought about that before you wrote the story.
Yeah, isn't that kind of dumb, you know?
Yeah, wait a minute. Isn't this all kind of stupid? And really, like, convenient and coincidental?
But the one question that kept me for many nights was, Red said he had known me for a long time. How? Ever since then, I can't shake this feeling of being watched.
Oh man, don't you hate it when you fucking play Godzilla NES as a kid, and then you get stalked by a red fish monster with a big mouth? It happens to all of us,
I've
man.
known you for a very long time, Zachary. One fish, two fish, red fish!
Oh!
No! He was in the Seuss! The game made me ask myself questions about death and reality in ways that I never wanted to think about.
This game turned me into the fucking philosopher of my generation. I became modern day, like, fucking Aristotle or some shit. Fucking Socrates.
I'm not too sure of anything anymore. Constantly thinking about it soon began to have a negative impact on my life. I just didn't care about anything else at this point but fucking Godzilla NES. By comparison, all the other day-to-day activities seemed utterly pointless. I eventually decided that I had to choose between one of two things. Try to play the game again, or destroy it. I tried several times to convince myself to try the former, but I never got further than plugging the NES back up. Just touching the cartridge made me remember all the pain I felt during the fight with Red. Ah! Cartridge hurts! Oh!
He got bullied by a video game. He's such a nerd that video games bully him.
Fucking give him wedgies and swervies.
Stuff him in his locker.
I wondered if perhaps playing the game again myself might cause something terrible to happen. Yeah, it'll fucking rip the sky open.
Might cause something terrible to happen, like this story.
Yes. I didn't know anything about how this game worked, and it was too risky. I wasn't sure I could stand another round of the game anyway. So then it was time for the other option. Wanting to get some fresh air, I took the game with me and drove to the lake, planning to throw it in. I got up to the lake with the cartridge in my hands, and I looked down on it.
And I looked down on it.
I got up to the lake with the cartridge in my hands, and I looked down on it, and I thought of Melissa. And what I had experienced in the game was indeed genuine. Doing what I did may have been the only way to save her from endless torture. In a way, this warped game might have saved her soul.
Even though she presumably was killed by Red and then immediately put in the video game. By the way, why did Red kill her?
Damn it, did I write this? Fuck! Once that thought came into my head, I knew then that I wouldn't be able to destroy it. So I just sat down at a bench, gazing at the lake for about an hour. Ultimately, I decided on a third option, selling the game on eBay. All this drama just to lead up to this point. I hope he goes through every little fucking bit of the process of putting the game on eBay.
A++++++ would buy haunted video game from again.
It may be selfish, but I promise you that it has nothing to do with money.
Because he wouldn't get any money for a copy of fucking Godzilla NES anyway, probably.
I don't care how much or little I get paid for this game, believe me. It's selfish because I don't want the responsibility of owning this cartridge anymore. I cannot dwell on this forever, and the only way I can deal with this is by putting the game out of my life. He should be going all like AVGN and shooting a fucking flamethrower at it or something.
Probably.
But it's his girlfriend's soul is in there.
His girlfriend somehow fucking got in there. The cartridge needs a goddamn exorcism. I want to fucking see a scene with a priest pouring holy water on a video game cartridge as it pukes green slime all over him.
Then a little red fish lobster monster thing crawls out of it. He makes a stupid face at the priest. And so this brings me to the main reasons I created a summary of these events. First is to record the details while I can remember them. And second is that whoever bids on this game knows what they're getting into.
What, did you put the whole fucking story in the description of the cartridge? Beware! This cartridge has my dead girlfriend in it, and also a monster that's also a fish named Red, and he might hurt you if you play it.
He'll give you big owies. And I gotta get a lot of stupid bullshit about, hey, look, you know the guy's girlfriend? I killed her. I'm a jerk.
Fucking Beavis.
I can't guarantee the safety of anyone else who plays the game, or that anything will happen at all. But to the new owner of the gamer, remember this. Be careful. And if you feel as if the game is literally messing with your mind, shut the damn thing off!
That's good. That's good advice. I think I'm gonna shut this damn thing off.
Yep.
Godzilla NES, everybody.